The nice thing about teaching about nature is that everybody has a fascination with it, whether it's a little bit of fear or whether it's just straight up awe. You bring in anything that's natural and they just want to study it. They want to get down to it. Sometimes they want to tear it apart, but it's always hands-on and it's always fascinating, and it really feeds into their curiosity about the world.
The Parklands is a visitor and donor supported public park. We stretch across 4 different parks that are connected by waterway and bike path, but it is a public park that is privately operated. The S.E.E.D program is an acronym for Stewardship, Education, Exploration, and Discovery. And so we started that back in 2015 as really just a response to a need in the community.
You get to think about animals and the way they live.
We noticed that there were a lot of schools from certain parts of the city that weren't coming to our field trips, and we wondered why. And so we wanted to get those students outside and active in the park. So we started fundraising to support students from all areas of the city, but from Title I schools in particular.
We're trying to fill in the gaps for all of the kids that don't have a lot of access to nature. So we remove all of the barriers. If they have a hard time getting out here, then we'll pay for the buses to get them to come out here.
So you see that part right there? And it kind of looks like some of our clams. Those are called brachiopods.
So the S.E.E.D program, is a very consistent program. That consistency comes in the form of at least 4 different contacts throughout the school year. It starts off in the fall with a field trip to the park. Then over the winter months, we'd go into their classrooms to take science lessons into their schools to supplement what they're learning there.
And now they're working on seeds, which is what we will be starting next cycle in science.
And then they come back again in the springtime for another field trip to the park that kind of ties everything together.
It is total engagement, 100% engagement. Nobody's hanging back. The quiet kids, they're jumping in and getting their hands dirty and, having a great time and learning at the same time.
Science education was really one of the first tenets of the S.E.E.D program when we began it back in 2015. But since the pandemic, what we've seen a really big benefit of the program being is to students' mental and physical health. Being able to come back after the pandemic, be outside with their buddies, and hang out, doing a really fun, unique experience, and having that time to bond. Yeah, when we first began the program, we started with just under 1,000 students served in our first year. But coming back out of the pandemic, we have really not missed a beat. And so we're anticipating serving more than 10,000 students this year. We don't receive any tax dollars for our operations, so we fund the park through donations from memberships, from folks who love us, who love using the park, as well as revenue that we can generate ourselves. And we hope to, really continue that growth with the help of all of our donors and supporters. I like to say that most kids have a love of the outdoors. They just may not know it. So our job is to kind of put them into the right position to unlock that love and that curiosity that every kid has about being outside. Seeing kids out here with their families after they spent time with us is probably what makes me feel the best, because we've done our job. We've gotten them to know that the park is a place for them, it's a place for their families to be, and they've actually translated that message and brought their family out with them.
For a lot of these kids, this is gonna be their first experience with nature, really diving deep into it. So this is their moment where they get to see their place in the world, where they start to understand that they're a part of something much bigger.
We learned about plants, we learned about different kinds of animals. Today I learned about rocks and seashells. I found a lot of shells today.
You get to go on hikes with the rangers, and you get to go in the classroom and do stuff with them.
Today we met new people and we get to have hiking. The Parklands is awesome.